Hey everyone, in this video we are going to be evaluating piecewise functions. Don't worry about what that means right now, but the good news is we're going back to looking at graphs. So, per usual, after this video, please complete Delta Math 1. It is due by the end of class period. However, you have until 11:59 if you need more time, and it will lock. So let's jump into it. This is basically everything that we've been doing, except instead of one equation or one graph, sometimes there's multiple parts. So here's our graph, and you might notice that it's an upside down U with a hole in it, and then there's another dot. That's what I mean by piecewise. There's just two pieces to this function. At the bottom, it says to find f of -3. So the good news, only one equation or one function to evaluate, and we have something inside the parentheses, which means we have an input of x equals -3. We start at the origin, 0, 0. And since the input is -3, we're going to go left 3 units, right over here. And per usual, sorry, that was kind of messy, -3, and we're going to go up and down. And do you see how it touches our graph twice? Well, sometimes there's two answers, sometimes there's no answers, and sometimes there's only one. You'll notice that f of -3 touches a hole down below, but a closed dot up above. If there's a hole, there's nothing there. But if there's a closed dot, there's something. So what we're actually going to focus on is just this point over here at y is equal to 2. There's a hole. You can't fill the hole. You can't say the value exists. However, if there's a closed dot, then we want to use that one. Here's our next function. As you can see, there's 3 different pieces to this one. There is this line chunk up here, there's this random line down here, and there's like a U shape going on down here, right? We'll call this f of x. It's piecewise because there's 3 pieces to it, but what we want to do is find f of -2. Again, f of -2, we have something on the inside of the parentheses, so that means the input is x is equal to -2. Start off at 0, 0. Since the input is negative, we're going to go left 2 units to -2. And at x is -2, we're going to look up and down and see if it touches any parts of our pieces. As we can see, it touches this top piece up here, right up here. So we just want to give that y. If we look over at the y-axis, f of -2 gives us the y value of 4. So when we plug in -2, it only touched one piece, and it's a part of a line, which is like a closed circle. So we just want to give the y value 4. Here's our last example. This guy is only 2 pieces. We have this chunk on the left with the open circle, this chunk on the right with a closed circle, and here our goal is to find f of -2. F of -2 has something on the inside of the parentheses. That means our input is x equals -2. So start at the origin, 0, 0. Since x is negative, we're going to go left 2 units, right over here, -2, look up, look down, and oh no, at -2, we're at the open circle. What happens if we're at the open circle right over here? What happens if you have nothing there, like the open circle represents nothing, is you can say that this function either does not exist, f of -2 does not exist, or there should be a button that says no solution because there's nothing there, right? So as we've seen from this, evaluating piecewise just means that there's multiple pieces of the graph, and we're looking if we're having an input for the x value, finding the y on the piece that is closed, whether that's a closed line, a closed dot. If it's an open circle, we do not choose that value. Go ahead and give your Delta Math 11 a try, and we'll see you next time.